Okay, good day, my friends. My name is Tracy Repchuk, and I'm the host of Reach Millions TV, an entrepreneurial lifestyle and learning channel, where I will educate and introduce you to some of the greatest powerhouses in their fields. Now, as an entrepreneur for over 37 years, I've had the good fortune to appear in Forbes over 27 times, speak in 39 countries, appeared on NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, won awards from the Senate, the Assembly, the White House, and President Obama. And I've had 9 #1 international best-selling books. And along this journey, I was able to reach millions with my message, which I know is important for you, which is why I've come up with a way to get you specific trainings and introduce you to people that can help you find more leads, make more sales, and reach millions with your message. You can find out more about me at tracyrepchuk.com and reachmillionsacademy.com. Now, today, I am joined by the dynamic duo of Deborah Drummond and Caroline Blanchard, who are partners in True That Media. They produce a podcast, books, and planners focused on incorporating entrepreneurship and branding with expansion for more diverse anthologies for women in media and other topics through the coming year. So, Deborah and Caroline, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be here, Tracy. Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome. Now, you are both best known for years of building successful enterprises, but I'm going to take this one question here. What fascinated me, Deborah, is you have been in health and wellness field for about 30 years, and you're a pioneer in bringing the idea of holistic natural medicine to the marketplace in such a way you have formulated hundreds of natural products that have been taken to market. I really want you to tell us how you got into this field and what are some of the products you've developed.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. It takes me way back, right? 30 years.
Yes.
Honestly, how I got into the field was very interesting. I actually was in the music industry and loving music, and I still love music. Maybe I'll talk about a little tour that I'm doing for music. But anyways, it's a different lifestyle, right? It's a very, very different lifestyle. And honestly, I was sharing this yesterday in an interview, and I think I just gone to maybe one too many funerals, to be honest with you. It was a very interesting time, great time, loving time, family time, but I had an epiphany. I literally had an epiphany looking in the mirror one day after a long shift. And I was like, this isn't for me. And and based on my personality, I am a bit of an extreme. Like, I'm an all-in girl, clearly, right? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm never leaving being an entrepreneur. So I actually went from that whole scene to finding and discovering by a flyer that I found when I went to go get a muffin at a health food store that literally changed my life. And it was learning holistic body work. And then my discovery went on and I started to formulate, and I love aromatherapy and I teach perfumery and all of that. So one of the first products that I ever took to market that was very big, that was a very big seller for us. Out of 300 products, it was our #1. Honestly, it was cellulite bath salts. It was cellulite bath salts. And then, I had kids and started making natural products that because I understand what ingredients do on the inside of the body. So I started to try to source a long time ago. It's kind of tough, things that didn't do that. So that's my entry into the natural world.
Wow. And I love that. We're very holistic in my family as well. My children, who are now 25, 26, 27, no shots, no immunizations, no doctors, no dentists, never got sick. We went through purely holistic channels as well for our what we'll call medicinal needs, which were always kind of standard process-based supplements, right? That's how we handled everything. And it's an incredible way to live. And really, it's kind of the way it should be, so that we can help our immune systems and help our own bodies to heal, right? So I love that. Well, thank you, right, for being an early adopter of that. And for really, I know you're continuing in that journey by products and the messages that you have. So it's totally awesome. And I very much appreciate that you're on that, as well as us, who are just really a quiet family that does it, right? We're just one of the many that believe that type of thing. And then Caroline, you and Deborah joined forces to create True That Media. Tell me how that began and what made you such a good match.
Oh, well, we're discovering every day why we're such a good match by sharing our stories. But basically, Deb and I are polar opposites, like in everything. But we really have the same core values at the base. So I met Deborah about 6 years ago. We were on a marketing tour in Australia for the direct sell company that we're with. I only knew Deb by reputation. I ended up honestly on that trip by fluke, but we had some top 6 leaders that were all joining in together to go on that marketing tour. And Deb was the one who was winning all of the awards in our company, like top recruiter, top with clients, top with this, top with that. She's actually the only one who held, some titles simultaneously in the same year. So when I got there, I was a little intimidated. I was just like, oh my goodness, how is this going to go? So in the span of 4.5 weeks, we took 11 planes. We stayed at 13 different hotels. And for some reason, it was decided at first that I was the one rooming with Deb. So we got to know each other really fast. And I have to say that when you travel for this long with being 6 women together, you end up walking out of there best friends or basically not talking anymore. So Deb and I allied very fast, and we did become best friends. And when COVID hit with our business, because we started presenting together and really aligning our businesses together. And she was a great mentor to me as well. And when COVID hit, we started doing some lives because that's where the business was going. And then people would ask us the recording of our business presentations because they were like, you guys are super interesting and we love the banter, which was kind of funny. But then Deb said, hey, why don't we start a podcast? Which I was like, no, but she convinced me because Deb is really good at that. So we started the True That show. It took off really fast and really well. And then we were having an interview one day to promote our show. And the guy said, last question was like, so what are your future projects? And then Deb goes like, well, we're publishing a book, which was news to me. It was really the first time I was hearing it. And I was just like, what? And then after the interview, she's like, oh my gosh, I had this vision. And she had this vision for the anthology. So we started working on the book from basically starting to publishing date. It was 3 months. It was crazy, an amazing experience. And that's how we went a bit reverse. That's when we created True That Media, because we realized that we needed an umbrella to really cover everything that we're doing. But it's been so much fun and, amazing since. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. And you brought up some things there about Deborah. So Deborah, you have dedicated an incredible amount of time to speaking, teaching, and mentoring women. You've been listed in Success Magazine over 48 times. You were nominated and awarded many top awards, such as the Royal Bank Women in Business, and you're well known on TV, radio, and media. And what I think is also incredible, and again, Caroline touched on this, is you have been #1 in a direct sales company in 10 countries for multiple years in a row. Tell us about the product that you did that with, your passion, and how did you accomplish that?
Well, thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Caroline. And Caroline is shy on her, but I'm gonna say a few things about Caroline as well. Like, this is a woman that one of the reasons why we complement each other so well is that I think that we have a healthy respect for each other. And this is a woman who got thrown across her kitchen table, some guy that had a rare form of cancer, and he thought, I need to raise some consciousness to save himself. And she, with phones and papers and nothing, they raised millions and millions and millions of dollars. So I shine in one area, but this woman has definitely has had her limelight. I think, when you talk about, the company that we're both in now is steeped in the moral and values that me and Caroline share together. So yes, we're very different. If you could see us blonde, you know, we're very different, French, English, you know, all sorts of things that are different, but we're both sarcastic though. The thing that I think was really powerful for me was it was the right fit, because I had, like you said, been pioneering health and wellness for a long time. And honestly, you know, thank you for the accolades on that. I think we should always tip our hat to the people that went before us, because, you know, with pioneering's like Tracy, it's, you know, you're first woman on stage with a bunch of guys and all the stuff that we've pioneered. So it was like, I was like a breath of fresh air to find a company that had the same morals and values around ingredients. I also had huge respect for the founder. And I also absolutely love the industry. I mean, the first book that me and Caroline took, which hit #1 as well, was, you know, 20 Powerful Women in Network Marketing, because of my love for what used to be a bad word. I now use womanism, but I've been a big, strong endorser, not only a pioneer of natural products, but also for women going into business, because 30 years ago, there was none of that either. And so just, you know, being able to create something for both genders that were able to let people go as far as they wanted to go. I believe, you know, I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said it was easy and I got up every morning and I didn't have to mindset myself. I do a lot of mindset. This morning, to get myself in game, you know, I was listening to country music, singing, and I was listening to a little bit of Tony, and I was listening to a little of Steve Harvey. So I do a lot of work around mindset, and I really work on toughening my skin, and I stay where my gut tells me to stay. And I surround myself with a few good people that I can be really, really honest with. And I keep my eye on the prize. Like, I keep my eye on the prize. I don't worry about what happens today. There was some stuff that happened last night in my personal life that just like, wow, I didn't go to bed till 1 a.m, right? And so you wake up and you take off that jacket and you put on a new jacket. So I think I've aced maybe, or created a methodology for myself on being able to keep my eye on the prize. And so, you know, you're allowed to fall down, but you better get back up, shake it off, you know, wipe your tears and keep going. I just so believe in the industry, and I so believe in what they produce that I can't help it. Like, I didn't set out to be #1. I didn't. I set out to get enough money to get my kid to a school. Like, and it was a very expensive school that needed medical attention. So I never said, I was actually shocked. People like, no, I'm telling God's truth. I was shocked when I hit the top 10. I was even more shocked to see me and my family in Success Magazine. I was like, this isn't my life. I'm a single mom of 2 kids in Vancouver that just got her butt kicked in a marriage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. I'm budgeting, and all of a sudden I'm still at a stage in my business. I'm budgeting my grocery bill, and my picture is there. This doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Well, I love that. Love that part of your story. It's beautiful. I think some of the key points that you brought out there for sure are, it's not an A to B, yay, you know, the yellow brick road. There's many blueprints, there's many mentors, there's many coaches, there's all of these things that can help us. But the bottom line is, we're the ones, as you said, we have to get up in the morning. We have to throw away whatever possibly happened yesterday to derail us, or move any negativities from our life, from our own mindset, whatever they are. And we have to now start that day and make things happen. And you also brought up another interesting point about necessity, right? You were there to send your child to school, you know, and some people are, hey, my necessity or my goal is to buy a Rolls Royce or something, right? It doesn't matter the reason. The fact is, you set the goal and the intention, as you said again, and you go for that, and you keep your eye on the prize. And that big prize is, you know, the accomplishment of, and then the carry forward, because we're going to hit those goals that we set. Like, your child obviously probably went to that school, right? And now you needed, hey, now I want that next step, and that next step to really help to lead us along that journey. So, yeah, so I just love everything that you were just saying, because especially, I'll say, for women, right? And pioneers moving into new territory, constantly direct sales and marketing, huge, huge industry for women making their mark now, especially, but thanks to pioneers, that has been a place for a lot of women to step into and not be overwhelmed all the time by the expectations, whether it be of a company or themselves. I think it, as you said, that passion that carries you forward, combined with the necessity and a goal, really, really lets you make that happen, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm. So now that takes me back to Caroline. And you mentioned this before, and I wanted to dig a little deeper on it. You guys have an amazing podcast, right? I've even appeared on it called True That. Again, I think you touched on it, but I want to go a little deeper. Tell me about what the vision for this was. I mean, I know it was kind of sprung on you, right? Hey, we're doing podcast, and you're like, really? But tell us now why it's such an important part about what you do.
Well, it's all about lifepreneurship. And like Deborah, I'm really, strong on helping people live their true life and the life that they really want. So basically, lifepreneurship is living your life as an entrepreneur, treating your life as if it's your business. So going all in, planning your life, achieving goals, really looking at it like being in the moment every single moment of your days, just like we are usually in business. Usually in business, we'll focus on something, we'll achieve it, and then we move on to the next one. And then quite often in our life, we don't necessarily do that. So we wanted to have a podcast that, yes, we have a lot of entrepreneurs on our podcast, but we also have people that are coming from different backgrounds and have different stories to share. And it's all inspiring stories about how they were resilient, how they achieved some goals, how they changed their situations, how did they achieve like new heights. That doesn't necessarily go specifically with a business. Like we had some people that are running nonprofits. We have some people that are writing books to share their story, to empower others. So it's really a variety of subjects. But what we really wanted to bring out with this podcast, like for me, I'm all about authenticity, and I know that Deb is as well, but I'm a very outspoken person. So I don't always filter what I should filter. So Deb is bringing this part, more to being acceptable. But basically, we wanted to have that on our show, like having the real stories. So our shows are not edited. It's a true story, really what's coming out. We want to know what people really go through. Like even super successful business people have their moments. So we want to hear about those moments, hear about those human moments of like, how do you get through it? So we're really aiming for our podcast to be inspiring and empowering.
Love that. And I think you touched on something there, or I remember reading it, and I want to keep you in on this one, is you have like 3 kids, right? Like myself, I started my company when I was 19 years old. That meant I carried it through when the 3 kids were at my feet. Tell others about, that part of your journey. And when did you become like an all-in entrepreneur?
Well, actually, I was like 8, and I was picking strawberries and raspberries in the summer because we didn't have enough money to buy them. we were raised poor, so I found an alternative because I wanted to eat them. And then I was fired because I was eating too much, but that's another story. But I always had the spirit of building and making everything as good as I could. I was 13. I was working in a corner store. I was treating this business like if it was mine. So I think I always had the entrepreneur spirit in me. I started a company for my brother when I was 17. I wrote his business plan when I was 20, and now his company is like so big now. But I didn't have the courage or the self-belief, or I didn't think I was worth it enough to start for myself. So I worked for other people. I quite often, not quite often, but always had positions that I was an executive account manager. So I would basically manage things as they were my own. And I was always like in the most, biggest achievers because I was treating it as if it was mine. I finally, 9 years ago, someone came to me and talked about the network marketing industry. And the only experience I had with that was my sister when I was 11. She was selling Avon, and she would send me do the deliveries, and I hated it. And I was not even getting paid. So that was my concept of network marketing. But when someone really took the time to explain that essentially it's starting your own business and doing it your way with a very minimal investment and being rewarded with the effort that you're putting in. When I really understood the industry and put my ego aside, I jumped all in. I was coming out from a burnout from another situation. So I had no job, and I just decided to jump all into this industry and not look for a job. And, I was blessed to find the company that really aligned with my values and everything. But that's how I became an entrepreneur. And I'm also a person that if you ask me for a little thing, I always find the way of like, what's the bigger project behind that? So, and I think that Deb knows that, and that's why she's throwing stuff on my plate as well. But yeah, long story short, I think I was always an entrepreneur, but it's when I started believing that I deserved it. And there's still a lot of work to do there. But when I started believing that, I jumped in.
Yeah, I mean, and something you said there was so key as well. And I love that both of you are in this, and that is really network marketing, the direct sales industry. It has so many negative, right, connotations sometimes. I mean, I know the company I was involved with, that would be the first thing people would ask. And I'm like, well, it's not, but even if it was, doesn't matter. It's all good, right? Because they give women and people a chance to jump in as an entrepreneur, but have some infrastructure built in, right? You didn't have to build the website. You didn't have to build all the marketing materials. You just had to love the product and go out there and tell others, share it. It's not even sell it. I find a lot of the times it's just about sharing something that you would have naturally shared with. That's why you align yourself to a product, that resonates with your core values and beliefs. And I think that's something important that people need to look at for any industry or anytime they're, I'll say, even looking for money or opportunities, right? Look for those that align with what you naturally believe in. And hard work, no one's saying, you got the car and you got the trip by not doing anything. Yes. What do you have there?
Yeah, I just want to add, I've worked for huge corporations. Like, I'm not going to say names, but it's corporations that everyone know. And never once was there resources invested in my personal development. And that's what network marketing is. It's self-development attached with a product, basically. And that's why you can go so big if you choose to do your self-development and put in your efforts.
Perfect kind of point to make, because again, I love going into companies, or products that whether I'm an affiliate or, as you say, direct marketing, that give you the resources to make yourself better, that give you the tools to make it simple to just spread the word, right? It's a win-win when you invest in a person that is investing in you and your products. It just makes for a far more greater relationship, right? Because the better we become as individuals through trainings that a lot of these companies are offering, the more powerful, the more confidence, as you said, right? The more ability we have to scale to higher heights. Love it. Very cool. So I'm going to ask you each one quick last question, then make it super simple for you. So I got you, Caroline. I'm going to stick with you right now. What is the best part of working with Deborah?
Oh, geez, I should have thought about that answer because it's hard. No. She jokes that I'm her business wife, and it's almost true. It's like, what's the best part is to feel like I have a best friend and I have someone who really knows me, and we're transparent with each other. We're honest. So it's good to join our strengths. And then when I don't have this strength, she has it, and, pick up each other. So I think I feel blessed because I don't think that you find that on every corner.
I agree. And of course, Deborah, best part of working with Caroline.
Well, the best part working with Caroline is that we actually do have a lot of fun. We have the ability to poke at each other, but poke at ourselves as well. I think the more we hang out, which has been a number of years. It's interesting to say you don't really know anyone until you've been with them for 5 years. I mean, literally in the last hour, I found out that she actually got married in Puerto Rico. I never knew that about her. And it's so interesting because we talk 10 times a day. I think that, we all know that it's super important who you circle yourself around, right? And I think that's why we talk about the industry that we do, because you've got someone that's willing to kind of stand behind you and push you up and then also pull you forward. She kind of accepts me for who I am, like the best part of me, and probably not the parts of me that maybe don't match with her. We buffer those with each other. And I think we accept that we may not be 100% the same, but that the complementary part of us, and I don't feel bad about what I don't bring to the table. And I do excel in what I do bring to the table. And there's just a great okayness about each other and an acceptance that we're on a personal development journey that honestly, I think is pretty rare. Truly, it's like when someone's got your back, when push comes to shove. Mm-hmm. So it's the kind of thing where we could have maybe had a little nit about something around a decision that we have to make for business. And then something happens and she's right there. Like she's right there. So at the core, we have that same, I'm going to the mat, right? Like no one would ever insult Caroline around me because they're like, that would just be a really dangerous thing to do. Right. So I think it's like that, I think it's rare. We probably need to read Michael Gerber, The E-Myth, so we make sure that we stay in business forever. That's a great business book for partnership. Mm-hmm. And I think if we always agree to personally evolve before we throw the hat in, she'll probably be my longest marriage.
There's a statement to end with. Yeah. I love that. Well,
that is, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is super cool, guys. I've so enjoyed our time together. And of course, I enjoyed it when I was on your podcast as well. I want to really thank you for being on Reach Millions TV and sharing your amazing story and insights with our followers. So I want to do a follow-up. What is the best way for viewers to connect with you and continue the conversation?
I think it would be with our email. So it's Deb and Carolyn at gmail.com. So DEBAND, and it's actually spelled Caroline, CAROLINE. We personally monitor this account.
I want to just throw in there that we are open to having people get to know us the same way by coming onto the show. Like, come on to the show. If you're an entrepreneur or lifepreneur, come on to the show. Let us get to know you even more. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, be sure to connect with Deborah Drummond, Carolyn Blanchard, and True That Media. And if you are part and parcel of this entrepreneurial lifestyle, be sure and ask for an appearance on their show. And to help you reach millions, be sure to grab my free gifts and best resources at jointracy.com. Stay tuned to this channel for more exciting episodes of Reach Millions TV here on the Live in the Hive broadcast network. And until next time, I'm Tracy Repchuk, and here's to your continued success.